Hello and welcome to the part 3 of building the application. In this part of the video, we are going to create a couple of buttons. So we're going to have a button that will be responsible for displaying the monthly payment for the loan and also the total payment for the loan. We're also going to have another button that will clear all the input from the screen. So I just want to use this design to go over what we've already done. We've created these labels. These are all widgets, and we've also created these 3 input fields. We're able to create the input fields using the entry function. In this video, we are going to create 2 buttons. One that says compute payment, which will compute the values entered in this input fields and then display the monthly payment for the loan and the total payment for the loan. This clear button will be responsible for clearing everything on the screen once you press on it. When you create buttons, you also have to create functions that will be activated or called when the button is clicked. So we'll create those functions in subsequent videos. I have added a couple of lines of code, line 26 and line 27. So these are basically the 2 buttons. Line 26 is the button that you press to give you the monthly payment of the loan and the total payment. So started by creating a variable called BT compute payment, and I've set it to equals to the button widget. And inside that button widget, I'm referencing the window variable, which is the application window. And inside there, I'm setting the text that will be displayed on the button. So this is the value. So the button will say compute payment. Make sure you enclose the values in quotes because it is a text. And then I'm setting a background color for the button. I want it to be red. And then I'm setting a foreground color. That is the actual color of the button text. I want that to be white against the red background. And then I'm setting the font. I want the font to be Helvetica. I want it to be 14 in size. And then I want it to be bold. When you create buttons, you have to add a command variable that will be called when the button is clicked. So what this command is doing here is going to call this function. I'm going to create a function later called compute payment. So this self basically just enables me to access the instance of that function. So it's going to call this function, and inside that function I will create what will happen when the button is clicked. Okay, and then this here is just a grid. I'm just placing the button in a grid. Remember, we've been working with grids so far. So the last row we had on the grid was row number 5 from line 24. So this button here, I'm going to place it on row number 6 of the grid and put it in column 2. And I'm setting the sticky argument to east. Line 27 is the clear button, similar to the compute button. The only difference is the command is going to be different, because this command here, I'm going to create a function called delete_all. So when that function is clicked on, whatever I've specified to happen in the function will be triggered, and it will clear the screen of all the values. So this button here called clear, that is the text I'm attaching to it, clear. I'm placing that on grid row number 6. I want the 2 buttons to be on the same row on the grid, but different columns. So you can see I've set the column to be column 8. I'm also using this property called pad X and paddy to create some space. It creates padding on the outside of the button so that the 2 buttons are not joined together. So this pad X, I'm giving it a value of 20, paddy, I'm giving a value of 20 so that it creates some space between the two buttons, and I'm setting the sticky argument to east. So that's basically the two buttons created. In the next video, we are going to create the functions that will be triggered when the buttons are clicked. Thanks for watching.